Hello once again, Niner Faithful, and welcome back to another episode of 49ers Playbook on the channel that's trying to answer the whys and hows of the game. Yesterday was a day of ups and downs across the NFL. For some, it meant the realization of a lifelong dream, to make an NFL team. For others, it's the end of a road that they've been on their entire lives. For fans, it's a time when we know the season is upon us. The roster is pretty much set, there's no reinforcements coming. This is the team that will go into battle this season to try and finally climb the hill to be the only team left at the top. First, I want to say thank you to all of our members of JFA49.com and also our Patreon supporters. Our coaching staff are the heart and soul of this channel and make content like this possible. Please consider joining them if you like this content and want to see it continue. But we're going to look at some of the surprise cuts and surprise retentions with the team and see what were some of the things that happened during preseason that may have tipped the scales. You're watching Johnny Dell's Football Academy. One of the more notable cuts this year was third-year defensive back Samuel Wac. If you got my podcast, you've heard me talk about some of his struggles. Well, that continued this past game. After week 2, I showed a case where he had a really bad bust in coverage, and there were some more issues that showed up. Here, it's second and long, and the Raiders are in the red zone. We're in cover 4 zone. The Raiders are running an old Mike Leach staple, the mesh concept. The mesh concept is primarily man coverage beater, but it can work against other things. Womack is on the weak side or 2 receiver side of the formation. The way we play cover 4, the Mike will shade towards the 3 receiver side. That puts Womack as a hook curl player. First to the hook, then work to the curl. And he has to deliver an underneath route to the Mike. That means he should work to squeeze only a couple steps and then retreat to a hook. You can see he gets really aggressive attacking the shallow crosser and vacates his zone. While the quarterback still throws the shallow crosser, Womack busted his zone, leaving a man running free. And then one thing that's been a struggle for him the entire time has been his physicality. Here, they're going to try and bring him on a slot blitz. The line is going to slant away from him as a blitzer to try and open up the lane. It's a good pickup by the running back, but this is not how they want their blitzers taking on a running back. The line has slanted down. He's ran himself past the quarterback and given the quarterback a huge lane to step up and move vertical. How the 49ers want these rushes, if a quarterback is going to get out, they want them moving horizontal or backwards. They don't want to give quarterbacks free lanes to step up and out of the pocket. That's a cardinal rule for them. And then this last rep is just layers of bad. So he's guessing on the route. He's not reading his receiver. It's pure guesswork. The Raiders have their guys in close splits. We're in man coverage, and Las Vegas is running the outside guy on a post route and the inside receiver on an out and up. But it's not a really well run out and up. That's what's so jarring about this. Womack thinks this is a rub corner paired with a quick out. Watch his movement. He's not reading the receiver. He's shuffling sideways like he's expecting a quick out, and by the time he realizes it's not, it's too late. Then if you're going to be beat, play your out of phase technique correctly. This is just bad. And then he has almost no effort to get the guy on the ground. This is as bad a rep as you're going to see. Another player that was a bit of a surprise cut was Chris Hubbard. Offensive line coach Chris Foerster talked about the high recommendation that Hubbard had from Daniel Brunskill and how much that meant to Kyle Shanahan because Kyle loves Daniel Brunskill. With such a ringing endorsement, it was surprising to see some of the performance on the field. Here we're running a play action pass. It's just poor technique, poor anchor, and he gets beat quickly, leading to a sack. And then here he is again, and this time they've given him some tight end help. What you'd like to see is him to use his tight end help. Go get the guy after the tight end makes contact. Close the gap. Instead, he takes a really wide set, which the tight end is there to help you so you won't get beat vertical. It takes away the defender's speed rush. How do you give up your inside like that? He allows way too much distance, poor set, poor feet in recovery. It's just a bad rep. Another surprise cut was Cam Latu. The 49ers selected him in the 3rd round just a year ago. This is going to be a 7-man protection with a 300 slide to the offense's left. Latu is the fullback, and this specific protection dictates that he has the outermost pressure threat, then work to the weak side A-gap. The problem is, he never sees the pressure from the slot. That's his guy. He works immediately over to the weak side A to maybe help on some pressure. But this stuff will drive a coach nuts when a player vacates his primary job and allows a blitzer free at his quarterback. So then we'll see a transition play from the not so good to the good. So this is our outside zone toss, or Zorro. Latu is to get up on the 2nd level linebacker, and Tonjes is going to kick out the end man. And this is why Latu is cut and Tonjes named the number 2 tight end. Latu whiffs on his block. Tonjes has textbook execution of his block. Tonjes really executed his assignments this preseason and is the reason he was the only tight end outside of George Kittle kept on the team. And here it seems so simple, but it's the details. He's running an over route, which is a target line of right over where the center snapped the ball at 5 yards. He is precisely there. That's what it takes in a Kyle Shanahan offense. You have to be precise on your landmarks. And here again, he's tasked with the same block we saw from Latu just a couple clips ago. And it's a great block in the open field. I also like that he plays fast. There's no hesitation and the game doesn't seem too fast for him. And this example might not seem like much and it doesn't affect the play, but here he's having to run down a 2nd level defender and he gets after it. He was the best blocker out of the tight end group trying to make the team behind George Kittle, and that is the reason he made the team. If we look here at Braden Willis, he really struggled with a lot of his blocking assignments and again reiterates why Tonjes was kept on the roster and the other guys weren't. It was surprising to see Patrick Taylor, the running back, kept on the team, but I love the way he was decisive in this zone scheme and was tough to get on the ground. The 49ers have had several rookies have strong preseason campaigns, Dominic Puni being the most prominent, but Jacob Cowing has really shown out the last 2 games. There's a lot to like. Here he got his first NFL touchdown. So we have Robbie Chosen on an attack route. He'll sit over the ball at the goal line, and Jacob Cowing is running a Skinner route, which is a post route where he will give the outside corner a little something at the top of the stem. And this is something that you're familiar with if you're a member of JFA49.com and have watched the route tree videos. I pointed this out on his big catch last week, but again, the smoothness in his routes is really impressive. He's able to work a slight spray release to widen the corner and works in and out of the top of the stem so smoothly for a touchdown. Another thing I really like is how even as a smaller guy at 186 pounds, he's not afraid to make catches over the middle. We're running a double dig concept, and Brandon Allen could do a better job of looking off the middle safety. But Cowing knew the safety was there and closing and isn't afraid to go make the catch. But again, the thing I like most about him is his ability as a route runner. Here, the Raiders are going with a 5-man pressure, man coverage with a deep safety. Cowing is just running a slant, but his route is so good. 2 things he does really well. Number 1, he closes the gap to the corner quickly, meaning he doesn't have a lot of wasted movement at the line of scrimmage. Some guys have a lot of wasted movement at the line of scrimmage, meaning they're going to be doing all these fakes at the line of scrimmage to try and win a release, but they're not moving vertically to threaten a corner. Here he's working vertically into the corner, forcing the corner off his spot while giving him something, and that pushes the corner into a backpedal. Number 2, he doesn't give up his chest to be pressed. Because the corner can't jam him, he works vertically and puts the corner on his heels and breaks into the slant. Again, so smooth. Las Vegas had a free rusher, but Cowing won so quickly it didn't matter. Lastly, we'll talk about another rookie who really showed out this preseason, Renardo Green. After week 1, I talked about Green's struggles with some recognition in the slot, but since he's taken all his reps outside, we see why the 49ers liked him so much. Here he's covering a comeback route. Watch him get physical, lock into the receiver's hip, and give zero space. Then here they couldn't get the 10-yard comeback on him, so they're going with a 7-yard stop route. Again, perfect coverage. Then lastly, it's 3rd and 9, and the Raiders are going to have him travel to try and get a free release for their wide receiver and run a tree route or a 10-yard out route. Again, right in the receiver's hip, and he runs the route for the receiver. From the end zone, we can really appreciate how tight this coverage is. If the quarterback makes his throw in any radius catchable by the receiver, this is a pick for Green. He's got as good of coverage you could ask for on this play. Well, the 49ers have some promising rookies, some disappointing veterans, and are still awaiting news on 2 major holdout players. But that's a look at some of the whys and hows of the final roster cutdowns. Who made it, who didn't. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to have your notifications turned on to be alerted to when a video goes live, as we'll be bringing this kind of content all season long. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Niners.